Hello everyone, this is excandersham here from Ghostlands EU, and this is another World of Warcraft pet guide. In this video we're going to be looking at the Brazier's sunflower, or Brazie's sunflower, though in the game and under the pet tab it is called the singing sunflower. This is a copy of the Plants vs Zombies singing sunflower, which you would probably know if you have played the iPhone/PC version of the game, which this mini game in World of Warcraft is a homage to it. To get this pet, you have to go to Brazie's farm, which is found just south of the Dalaran crater in Hillsbrad Foothills. There will be a goblin here in front of a patch of grass, which you're going to be using to complete the minigame. You have to complete a series of quests in order to unlock the pet, and the quests become significantly harder as you go through the quest chain. This question is actually quite hard if you don't actually know what to do. You have to have an efficient strategy in order to deal with the waves, and I'll tell you this now. Now, for the first few quests, you can basically just sleep through it. It's not hard whatsoever. You can just randomly put down things. As long as you have one row of sunflowers, you can probably survive anything in the first few waves. The only time it gets difficult is when you get the pumpkin bomb. Actually, I better go through what the actual plants are. You have a sunflower which costs 10 sun power to use, and it gains you sun power as you plant it, and what happens is sun power falls from the ground whenever there is a sunflower, and it does this every 30 seconds, I think, or 45. The more sunflowers you have, the more sun power you can get in a certain period of time. The spitter costs 20 sun power, and it does damage to a zombie in the same row as it. Freezers cost 20 sun power as well. They do slightly less damage than the spitter, though they do slow zombies in the place that they are actually placed. So if any zombies in front of them, they will slow. The next plant is called the tombstone. I don't know if it's actually called the tombstone, but it does use for that effect. It costs 20 sun power, and it blocks zombies, and any zombies who actually are behind it or in an adjacent square to it will hit it, and it will allow your spitters and freezers to shoot them down and make sure that they don't actually get to the back of your line. The big vines, they are like chompers in Plants vs Zombies. They cost 30 sun power, and they pick up a zombie and they strangle it to death, causing quite a lot of damage. The last plant is called the pumpkin bomb, which does a lot of damage, and it will basically kill any zombie in the area that is planted because it does an AoE death and decay style effect. Now, until you get the pumpkin bomb, it is incredibly easy to do the quest chain. However, when you get the pumpkin bomb, it becomes very difficult. The first quest that you will get after you gain the pumpkin bomb, you have to plant 2 rows of sunflowers. This is absolutely critical. As soon as you start the quest, you plant 3 sunflowers as quickly as you can. When the zombies start coming, you start planting tombstones or spitters. It doesn't really matter which, but if you plant tombstones, it does make it slightly easier. The reason you want to plant tombstones is the more tombstones are up, the longer it'll take for zombies to break through them, and you have a lot more time in order to build up your sunflower line. But just either make a row of spitters, or you make a row of make a row of tombstones, and you make 2 rows of sunflowers. And that's all you really need to do. You make sure you have a row of spitters, a row of freezers when you get the sunflower, and then you put a row of tombstones right at the bottom of the map. This should be enough to deal with the initial waves. As soon as you get a massive wave, start saving up sunflower for the pumpkin bombs. Now, it might seem like a good idea to put down some big wavy vines. This does work, and it does do quite a lot of damage, but as soon as you get to the second and the first massive wave, you will get very hard hitting mobs, and for 10 more sun power, the pumpkin bomb can do a massive AoE burst, killing everything in range, and it's a lot more efficient than planting tons of vines. Though if you do have sunflower, plant vines if you do, but make sure to keep enough of the pumpkin bombs up, and this should be enough to make you survive the the first to last quest. Now, the last quest in order to get this pet is very difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Again, you'll want to be planting 2 rows of sunflowers. This is where the tombstone strategy comes into play very well. You plant 3 sunflowers, and then you plant tombstones at the bottom 2 rows of the field. Now, I don't know if this actually changes, but they will only come from 2 different lines at the beginning of this quest. And you can either put spitters down or you can put down tombstones. I would suggest putting down tombstones because it lets you get these sunflowers up quicker. Again, you want to use the same strategy of making sure you have a row of spitters, then a row of freezers. Make sure you have a row of tombstones at the bottom, and if you have any time before the boss turns up, make sure to have some vines up. You don't really want that many vines. The reason for this is he does use an AoE style death and decay effect, which kills anything in its range, and that will probably kill the vines that you place down on the map. Another ability that this warden will do is he will actually throw death and decays all over your plants. If any plants get put in a death and decay, they will take a ton of damage and eventually die. Make sure you have enough sunflower to actually replant any of your spitters or sunflowers that have been killed. But what you want to do in this regard, in order to kill the warden very, very quickly, is you want to create 2 rows of sunflowers, create a row of spitters, create a row of freezers. These should always be up before the boss comes up. If they're not up, then I don't know what. You might have been planting too many spitters and not had enough sunflowers. Sunflowers are priority as long as you're not being overrun by zombies. Make sure to have at least some tombstones up before the boss comes, but really, usually, you will not get all the tombstones up before the boss actually turns up. Once the boss turns up, make sure to save sunflower in order to get your pumpkin bombs. The reason for this is he will only take 4 to 5 pumpkin bombs before he will die. This event, though, is kind of bugged, as you can probably see in the recording here. Sometimes the pumpkin bombs don't actually do any damage to them. If this happens, don't be too unhappy or don't think that you failed. This is probably just a bug in how it works, and as long as you persevere, as long as you keep replacing your spitters, as long as you keep putting tombstones on the ground, as long as you make sure that you're not overrun, you can probably still survive, even if you have to put down 9 pumpkin bombs in order to finally kill him. The reason you want to use this strategy and get him down as quickly as possible is the longer he gets up, the more he will make much harder zombies, and eventually when you get into the area where he's actually throwing big abominations at you, you have basically failed, because it's almost impossible to survive at this point unless he's on low health and you're basically just throwing pumpkin bombs and hoping that you can survive before he kills all your units. Because as soon as the patchworks come up, it becomes a lesson in survival, and it does really get hard at this point. So once you've actually completed the entire quest chain, you will get a pet. It is a very, very cute pet, though it does look a bit demonic. I kind of expect it to open its mouth and show very serrated teeth and try to eat my soul, because it doesn't look that friendly, even though it's smiling. Really not. It's really unsettling. Something that cute is really unsettling. It's the Uncanny Valley effect, probably, in this regard. The pet does have some interesting abilities. It will sometimes do a heal on you. I don't know if the heal actually does anything, but it's kind of a nice animation. And it will sometimes randomly hum the Plants vs. Zombies theme tune, or it might actually sing it, to be honest. I think it sings it, and that's kind of an interesting pet. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope to see you in another World of Warcraft pet video, and that's it for me. So thanks for watching, guys. If you want to like the video, please like. If you want to comment, please comment. And if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. And I hope to see you again in another video. So thank you for watching, guys. Peace out.